Hi everybody. Well, today I am making a mold. I have this little frog. He is matte and I want him to be shiny. So I will be coating him with a little bit of varnish to try to get him to be shiny, or I will put silicone oil on him to make him shiny, and of course that will make it easier to release. And he's just the cutest little thing. This is one of the frogs my sister sent me several years ago because I am a frog person. It does have a little opening there. It's a little squishy guy, a little rubbery, and I'm not sure when these were made, but he's been around a while. And I would really like to make a resin frog like this. So I'm going to set that down here. And what I'm going to do, notice I have it on a turntable today. It just makes things easier. And what I did was I took one of these and I put it over the frog so that I could make sure it fit, and it does. And I don't want to fill it completely because I don't want a very thick base, because unfortunately the only silicone mold I have, silicone mold, the only mold making silicone I have is a 30A hardness, which is quite hard actually. And I want this frog to be able to be easy released. I'll be using this Starzo World that I got off of Temu, and it is by volume on this one. You do need to check your silicones to see if they are by volume or by weight. These are by volume, and it's 1-to-1 ratio. This says bubble-free, low viscosity, non-toxic, and odor-free. 6 hours curing time, 40 minutes work time. So it's got a long work time. This is a 20-ounce kit. It says 10.6 ounce on each one, but it is just a 20-ounce kit. I have used some of this before, and it did pretty well. So I'm going to put that down real fast here, and what I'm going to do is I will, and I'm keeping the base for mixing stuff in because I don't throw away if I don't have to. And I do know that I'll need a little bit, I don't know actually, but I've got enough space to mix in this properly, probably for 3 ounces, and I know it's going to take more than that. So I'll be mixing the silicone in this one here. For right now, what I need to do is tape off this bottom so that there's no leakage. And do it for small items, this is the way to do it. And all I'm using for tape is packaging tape, just this stuff right here. And yes, brand new roll. I go through a lot of it. It's very useful for getting glitter up and things like that. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to need about 2 of these wide. So I'm going to put this down. Get it to unstick from me. There we go. Move that aside for a moment so I can place another one down. Get it about as long as that one. Try to turn it where I can actually see both sides of the tape. Oh my goodness, it's all stuck to me. So I'm going to hold it up for a moment so I can see what I'm doing a little bit better. And that didn't work. I need to find something that's a little darker to see on, so I'll use my little mouse pad here. Okay, so yeah, that's going to help me find that edge a lot better. And I want it as straight as possible, as warp-free as possible. So I'm going to lay it down just this one edge here. All right. And yes, I left a fingerprint or thumbprint or whatever. And it's still sticking to me pretty bad. There we go. Okay, now we just take that little bottom piece here and place it down directly on there. And you do want a softer surface like this so that when you're pressing down, you get better adhesion. Go all the way around, push down. Now you do want to try to make sure that it's got a good seal. And take your thumbnail or even a popsicle stick or tongue depressor. We use tongue depressors because they are larger and are easy to stir with. And because I am clumsy, I will take a pair of scissors and I will trim this tape around here a little bit. Tape is so much fun. I'm not trimming exactly up to the cup. Because you do want a little bit of just in case space. Oh my goodness, sticking to it again. And for a little bit of extra safety, you can go ahead and curl that tape up on the edge there. Stick it to the outside of the cup. Make sure you go all the way around and you do it in succession so that you have a better seal. And doing it this way, you should not have any leakage. I won't guarantee it because everybody does things in a different way, and therefore, you know, I can't tell you that you're doing it the same way I'm doing it or with the same amount of pressure, etc. Just try to make that a good seal. Go all the way around. Stick that down in there really well. Almost there, everyone. Okay, same. Just keep going. Stick it down. And you can, at that time, as you're going, go ahead and run a fingernail around that edge there so that you're sticking that down into the lip of the outside of the cup. And I should be really good to go with this. Now, as you know, silicone sticks to silicone. Get rid of this tape. And for safety's sake, I should put a piece of plastic over this. But right now, I don't have the right kind of plastic that I need. Maybe this will do. We'll just take one of these bags that came from Timu and place it down. go ahead and leave that underneath. Smooth that out a little bit. Okay, place that right there. And now, the little frog, I'm going to go ahead and just make him matte. And then I'll make a resin piece out of the mold when it's done. And I will coat the resin piece, and I'll go ahead and make another mold. So I'm just cleaning him off right now with some tape. Make sure there's no dusties. And then we're going to place him down in there as central as possible. Well, close enough. Then we're going to squish him down to seal him all the way around there. Now, as this silicone is by volume, I don't have to worry about weighing it. So I'll set that aside, and I'm going to try to figure out about the volume it's going to need in this cup here. So I am going to make well, 4 ounces or thereabouts. Let's go with 90 mil. So I have to do it to 45 on one. And no, I'm not using gloves. Silicone's pretty harmless for the most part. Although, you know, some silicones do come with odor. And so I'm putting the A in first. And I got to go to about 45 for that. So just go ahead and squeeze it till it's filled in. Now this might be taking a little too long for me because, well, it is. Let me find my cap again. Oh my god. Oh, there it is. See? I have to be more careful with what I'm doing because, unfortunately, I just found out yesterday that I have cataracts forming in both eyes. And because of that, I also, in my right eye, the cataract is more pronounced, and I have a floater in my eye as well, and so my vision isn't the best right now. I do get new glasses in 2 weeks in. They've been ordered. Okay, that looks good. But I can't wait for them to come in because, wow, it'll be so good to see better again after 13 years. Much, much better than what I've been going at. Okay, that does look like it's at the 45 mark. I'll just open this one like I did with the other to make it easier. And I'll go to the 90. Almost there. A little bit more. And that should be it. I did find out that the liquid silicone is just as staticky as the silicone mold when it's finished. So you have to be really careful. It'll draw towards anything that has static. That one got a little bit on the cap, so I'm going to wipe that off real fast so there's no transference. So get that real quick. Okay, now it's just down to the mixing, and I'm kind of wanting to go ahead and put a little bit of mica powder in there after it's mixed. And this, you have to make sure it is very well mixed in here. I'll probably incorporate bubbles into it, but it degasses very well. The first one I made out of this really degassed extremely well. But a good couple, 3 minutes at least of mixing. Scraping all the way around, scrape the stick along the side to get off the stick itself so it mixes better and you're not leaving anything behind. Now the first mold I made out of this, it was last year before I was doing videos, and it took no, actually I believe I made it in October, and it took a very long time to cure, longer than the 4 hours this says. I don't know what had happened, but it did finally cure. It could have been just because it was winter and very cold at that time, but I'm not too sure. Now I'm doing this at around 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning because I don't sleep well at night. Get that bottom scraped up. My hand gets very, very tired from stirring. It just really does. I do have one of those mixer things, but it incorporates bubbles so badly. Much worse than stirring by hand. And sometimes it's easier to hold the stick and just turn the cup a little bit, and you want to make sure you stir in 2 different directions. Now I don't want this to, I mean, I like the translucency, but it's going to be too thick anyway to use UV resin in it, and that's not my plan anyway for it. Get that all stirred up. You have lots of bubbles. So we're going to let it sit and rest for half a moment while I grab a color of mica. So I am looking at my micas here. Now he's a green frog, he's light green, and I think that one right there would do just fine. And so I'm just going to put a little bit in it. Please forgive me, I have hiccups all the time, so badly at times that, wow, I'm telling you, it's one of the worst things that you can go through day after day. Okay, I don't want it too dark. So I'm going to just go with that little bit right there. Go back and forth mixing it until it gets down in so that it's easier to get it incorporated into what you're mixing. got a little bit up here. Let's bring it down. Okay. Oh, I think that's going to be the perfect coloring. Get it mixed in there a little bit better, and we'll see if I need to add a little bit more or if it's just the way I want it. This will also help you to make sure that, oh wow, still kind of translucent. It'll help you make sure that you've got all your silicone mixed in. And if I accidentally say mixing resin, it's because that's what I do a lot of. And yeah, I'm just going to stick that in there and get that little bit amount off there. So once in a while, of course, I'll mix up using silicone, the words silicone instead of resin for resin, and etc. You know, just one of those weird things that happens with our minds. We get so caught into a rut, we don't know sometimes how to get out of it. Okay, this is close to being mixed thoroughly, and all that's left to do is pour it into the mold. Well, into the mold form, and then I'll have to wait for it to cure. But that looks pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to scrape that off real fast. Now, if I were to make a smaller mold, this would be not too horrible for using with UV resin if it were less thick. Okay, here we go. I do want to try to avoid as many bubbles as possible. So I'm going to let it degas a little bit as I go here. And I'm going to pour from way up here. And we're just going to cover eyes, everything, all the way down. Let it build a little bit down there to try to keep any major bubbles out. So 90 mil is what I made, and I may not have made enough. Oh, how close, and it's just not enough. So I'll let this finish pouring in. Get it scraped out of there, and I'll go ahead and mix a little bit more. Isn't it terrible when you come just short? It's so close. I don't want it to be too thin above his eyes. So I'll probably mix another ounce worth. So that's about 30 mil. Yep, gonna have to do it. Isn't that just terrible, everybody? when you think you got it and you just don't. Okay, I'll put you on pause while I go ahead and measure this out. Alright, I tried color matching as close as I could get. And of course you can never color match completely, but hopefully this gets just as close as possible. Otherwise, it'll be kind of a cool little surprise, right? Of what it comes out looking like. Sorry, I had to get a little closer to me so I could see what I was doing somewhat. Okay, I'm going to start scraping it off the upper side here. And again, from up high, pour. Also, you can help remove bubbles by pouring down a stick. So I'm going to do that with this time. I mixed up another 30 ml, which is about 1 ounce. So all total, there will end up being 4 ounces used. Make sure I'm not getting too high up on the cup piece. We're right where I can just about see his eye, his pupils. Okay, I don't know how much more room I have. I'm trying to look through the sides. But I think I can pour the minimal amount that's still in here, so let's go ahead and just drain that down in there. And it looks like it's going to be just perfect now. Okay. Now that that's down in there, all I got to do is wait for it to cure and then remove the plastic cup around it and see what we got after that. Okay, I think we're done, everybody. I will go ahead and put you on pause while this gets done. And it seems I might have a leak on the other side there, which is okay. Now I'm going to leave the silicone on the stick and let it cure. The cup I'm just going to toss out for now. And yes, there is a small leak right there, but it seems to be self-sealing. And it looks to be that's where the pieces of tape met together in the seam. Either that or I goofed a little and went over the side, which is what I'm trying to see if that's what I did. It might be, because it's not really spreading very far. Alright, that looks like it's going to do. Alright, I'm going to put you on pause and I'll see you when this is done. Hi everyone. Okay, this finally cured. It took approximately 30 hours, not 6, but 30. So we're going to go ahead and break this off of here. Oh my goodness. I tape things very well, don't I? Let's get a bigger solution to this and try to cut right here. not so easy through that thicker part of the cup. Oh my goodness. Haha. I don't want to cut the mold itself. Okay, well, we'll just keep working at it in little pieces here. We'll peel it down. And we'll just keep going until it's off. Now the top is still, oddly enough, quite sticky, but it doesn't leave prints anymore, so it's good enough to take out of the plastic. And of course, the next video will be me trying to make a resin project out of this. That scared me. I thought I broke my nail off. And though I don't really worry about having long fingernails, it scared me that I put it down into the quick. And it was just the plastic. Ooh, stubborn. Trying to not have a long video, and this is just being a pain for sure. Oh my gosh. Okay, there comes another part down. Don't have much more of it to have to pull. So let's try. See if, there we go. We'll just peel it like that out of there. And it is quite hard. Aha! It's free. Now there was a small bit that got underneath here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this little napkin here and I'm going to rub at that area. And that'll just take any stickier area off of there. And any very thin silicone. Okay, that's just about cleared up. Okay, and here we go. So we're going to break that little frog free out of there. And this is why I put it in the cup, is so that it was up like this. So that it would be easier to remove the frog, I hope. You do need softer silicone for something like this, but I ran out of it. And so he may be a pain to push out of there. He's starting. Come on, little frog. Come free. So I'll push from the back at this area. Okay, let's get him out of there. I think he likes being in there. There we go. Got him. and a little bit of silicone that dropped down in there. Let me get that out. Almost. It is definitely a tough mold. And from what I can see, he turned out pretty good. So, I'm going to go ahead and end this video and go get some sleep finally. And I will actually pour him when I get up. I think that turned out pretty good. The only thing I'm worried about is did it stay level? And I think it did. Okay. Well, I want to thank everybody for watching and going with this little experiment with me, because I was not expecting this kind of good turnout. No bubbles. So he shouldn't have any defects. And we'll just have to see how much a resin frog looks like this frog. Of course, I do want a shiny one, so after the resin frog is made, I will coat the resin frog to make sure that it has a shiny surface. And well, it does pick up everything, though, I'm going to say that. And then I'll go ahead and remake the mold with a little bit softer silicone. That won't happen for a little while, though. And we'll see how it goes, enough that, well, they'll be available for anybody, except the thing is you'll only be paying for the resin itself, or not the resin, but the silicone itself, plus the shipping. I'm going to take this edge off of here because it sticks up like it does, because it followed the curve of the cup. But since this frog is not my original design, I can't legally sell a mold to make a profit. So anybody that's going to want one, all they got to do is let me know. I'll need an address, of course, to send to, so I can judge how much the shipping is. The silicone, I'm not too sure about how much that's going to cost, because silicone prices fluctuate, and especially in this economy. So I will give you current prices if you want. And of course, I'll have to wait for anything to get shipped to me. And then, like I said, you just pay for the cost of the silicone and any shipping fees to me and to yourselves. Okay, my mold is done. I am proud of it. I think it did well. And next time it'll be done with a medium hardness, so probably about a 15 hardness, so it'll be a lot easier to pull items out. Okay, you know the drill. It's all there in the description. Of course, thank you very much for stopping by and watching. I appreciate everybody that does. Of course, hit that thumbs up button if you liked what you saw. And thank you to everybody that has subscribed. And thank you for all of you that have shown concern over my eyesight. I know it won't get any better, but as long as it doesn't get worse, I'm thankful for that. So, if it comes down to time for me to get the cataracts removed, I'll let you know ahead of schedule because, of course, I won't be crafting for a while my eyes heal. So, excuse me. Um, yes, please leave a comment. I appreciate it. I love reading comments. Um, it makes an old, lonely person, feel part of the world still. And I would appreciate very much if you might share. Also, I would like to see Twisted Tree Arts 23 really make her 1,000 by March 20th or at the latest March 24th. So if you can share her videos too and maybe get them out, that would be so helpful. I'll leave a link to her page, to her channel in the description box. So share away, everybody. You guys are great. Love y'all and peace out.